Most people think they have an income problem. They don't. They have a money flow problem, because the moment money arrives, it starts disappearing into bills, rent, food, debt payments, subscriptions, and small purchases they barely remember making. And that's why some people on normal salaries quietly build wealth, while others on high incomes still feel broke every single month. The difference is not just how much they earn, it's what they do with money the second it arrives. Today I'm going to show you the 4 buckets rule, a way to split your money so it does 4 jobs at once. Keeps you alive, protects you, grows for you, and lets you enjoy life without wrecking your future. A huge share of Americans say they're living paycheck to paycheck. So if you've ever looked at your bank account and thought, how am I working this hard and still not getting ahead? This is for you. Meet Marcus. Marcus makes $54,000 a year. He pays his bills on time. He's not reckless. He's not lazy. He even has a budgeting app on his phone. On paper, Marcus looks responsible. In reality, he is financially treading water. Every month his paycheck lands, and every month it disappears. Not because he's stupid, because all of Marcus's money lives in one pile, one account, one balance, one blurred number on a screen, with everything competing for the same dollars. His rent competes with his future. His groceries compete with his emergency fund. His impulse buys compete with his peace of mind. So Marcus doesn't really make decisions. He reacts. Whatever feels urgent gets paid. Whatever feels good gets bought. Whatever is left over gets called saving. And that right there is the trap. Because leftover money almost never becomes wealth. Wealth comes from planned money. Money with a destination. Poor money systems ask, what can I afford right now? Strong money systems ask, what job should this money do? That one shift changes everything. Here's the structure. 40% living, 30% future wealth, 20% protection, 10% freedom. This is not about being perfect on day one. It's about building a system that forces your money to move with purpose. The first bucket is living. This is the money that keeps your life running. Rent, groceries, utilities, transport, insurance, phone, the real essentials. And this is where Marcus makes the same mistake millions of people make. He lets this bucket quietly get bigger every year, not all at once. Slowly, a slightly nicer apartment, a slightly newer car, a few more subscriptions, more delivery, more convenience, more, I work hard, I deserve it. And before long, Marcus isn't building a life. He's maintaining a lifestyle that feels normal, but is financially suffocating. That's the danger. The trap isn't always luxury. Sometimes the trap is just constant upgrading. So if Marcus wants to fix this bucket, there are 3 areas that usually make the biggest difference. First, housing. This is the biggest line item in most people's lives, and a small monthly difference doesn't stay small. Save $300 a month on housing, and over 5 years, that's $18,000 not disappearing into a nicer address. That is real money. Second, transport. Marcus doesn't need a car that signals success. He needs a car or a transport setup that supports his life without strangling his future. A flashy car payment can quietly eat the same money that could have gone into an emergency fund or an investment account. Third, daily convenience. Delivery apps, impulse orders, tiny upgrades everywhere. These don't feel dangerous because none of them look huge on their own. That's exactly why they're dangerous. Financial leaks rarely show up looking like disasters. They show up looking like habits. And the goal of this bucket is simple. You want your life supported, not inflated. Because when living gets too heavy, every other bucket gets starved. This is the bucket that changes Marcus's long-term life. 30% for future wealth. This is money that should grow, multiply, or increase his earning power later. And this is the bucket people delay the longest. Because the future always feels far away until suddenly it isn't. If Marcus ignores this bucket for too long, he will spend years working hard without building anything that works for him in return. So where does this money go? 3 strong starting points. First, broad market investing. Not trying to guess the next magical winner, Not pretending to be a genius, just consistent investing into diversified assets and letting time do the heavy lifting. Second, high-income skills: editing, coding, sales, design, copywriting, AI-related skills. A skill the market values can increase Marcus's income for years. And unlike a stock, a real skill travels with him. It can help him earn more, negotiate better, or create side income. Third, side income systems. Marcus does not need to quit his job tomorrow. He just needs something that can generate money beyond his paycheck: a service, a freelance offer, a digital product, a small business. Anything that gives him another stream of fuel to pour back into this same bucket. Now here's the force that makes this entire bucket work: time. If Marcus invests $300 a month and earns a 10% annual return, starting at 25 and continuing until 65, he ends up with about $1.9 million. If he waits until 35 and does the exact same thing, he ends up with about $678,000. Same monthly amount, same habit, huge difference. And the reason is time, because time multiplies consistency. The third bucket is protection: 20%. For protection, nobody brags about this bucket. Nobody posts screenshots of their emergency fund. Nobody flexes insurance or debt cleanup. But this is the reason some people survive setbacks while others spiral. Because something always happens. And in Marcus's case, it happens on a Tuesday. His car breaks down. The repair bill is $1,400. Without a protection bucket, that money doesn't come from savings. It comes from panic. It goes on a credit card. Now the repair doesn't just cost $1,400. It costs interest, stress, and the next 3 months of financial progress. That is why this bucket matters: emergency funds, insurance, debt reduction. Protection gives Marcus something rare: margin. Margin lets him think. Margin lets him negotiate. Margin lets him recover. Because wealth is not only about growth, it is also about resilience. Now we get to the bucket that stops Marcus's financial plan from feeling like punishment: 10%. For freedom. This is enjoyment money: meals out, weekend trips, hobbies, gifts, experiences, small luxuries that make life feel worth living. Because a plan without joy eventually breaks. Freedom spending gives Marcus a release valve. And here's the rule that makes it work: once the 10% is gone, it's gone. No stealing from protection. No borrowing from future wealth. Freedom lives inside the system. It does not destroy the system. And that's what makes it guilt-free. So how does Marcus actually start? 5 steps. Step 1. Look at the last 30 days. Honestly, where did the money actually go? Step 2. Name the 4 buckets: living, future wealth, protection, freedom. Step 3. Pick your current version. Maybe Marcus starts with 60, 20, 10, 10. The exact numbers matter less than the direction. Step 4. Automate what you can, because automation beats motivation every time. Step 5. Improve 1 bucket per month. Small improvements compound over time. Here's what makes all of this urgent. The dangerous thing about waiting is that nothing looks wrong. At first, Marcus doesn't feel the wealth. That never got built. He doesn't see the freedom. That quietly failed to grow. He just wakes up years later and realizes he worked hard the whole time, but never gave his money a system. So remember this: money without structure disappears. Money with structure builds a life. Some money keeps you alive. Some money protects you. Some money grows for you. And some money lets you enjoy the journey. That balance across those 4 buckets is how income becomes control. Control becomes stability. And stability becomes wealth. Not flashy wealth, not fake wealth, real wealth. Starting with the very next paycheck,